not the most glamorous pregnant woman you've ever seen. I mean, with all three. Fantastic, and I'm so happy for her. I think I heard too that she wants a girl, so we'll see. We'll see what she's going to have.
We have a local connection for another couple that is getting some buzz this morning after their appearance on the blue carpet. Our very own, the Chicago Bears' Jonathan Owens, and his perhaps way more famous bride, and that would be Simone Biles.
Do we have a little video of
I'm not sure if we have a preview or a post view of that, but they looked absolutely fantastic. There was another.
Blue. I think she's wearing this bright blue kind of shorter
there's
dress.
Simone
and there's
Biles.
maybe and then he's wearing, I believe it's a white suit with some blue details. Correct me if I'm wrong, but how beautiful is this couple?
Look at those pants.
Look at the pants.
The frayed look.
Yeah. My pants do that, and I don't want them to.
When Mike Kaplan was giving his forecast today, Caitlin, he said, get the bell bottoms out because we're going into the 70s. Those are kind of like bell bottoms.
Bell bottoms are back, you guys.
Hey,
they're
back,
back,
baby.
What's old is
new? What's old is new. Do we have a shot of Angel Reese at the Chicago Sky?
She looks great, too.
She looked
very
great.
Chic.
I don't know anything about fashion, so I can't, right away tell, yes or no, but it was an immediate yes for me.
She looks like a supermodel.
She really does.
Look at her hair. She's perfect. I
Caitlin,
love this.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but she probably could be a supermodel if she wasn't a great basketball player?
Probably.
Right?
You're probably
right. She's got the
height.
height.
She might be. Maybe she will be.
Those model-like proportions.
Very tall, very pretty.
That's
I guess
elegance
she was
personified right there.
Yes. And then we also had one that Brian pointed out. A gentleman was carrying a piano on his back.
Yes. Who was that?
Jenny, do you know who that was? Who carried the piano on his back?
Oh, he was talking about Andre 3000.
Okay.
From Outkast. He was talking about Andre 3000 from Outkast. I think this was in, I don't know if it was last night or if it was in a but I did hear Brian mention that.
Wore it as a backpack?
And it was like a legit keyboard, he said. As we take another look at Miley Cyrus.
Okay, girl.
Yeah.
Wow, she looks great too.
Oh, and there we go. That's Sabrina Carpenter. I like it. It's a yes from me. And there's Cynthia Erivo. Look at these outfits.
Oh, she's so cute too. See, I don't mind
these. She will
be
coming to Ravinia in August, I believe.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I believe late July or early August, Cynthia Erivo is performing live at Ravinia, and there's Jean-Baptiste playing sax. Okay, he brought the instrument onto the blue carpet there.
So these were all yeses. Do we have a no? Do we have a
all
lose?
Yeses.
Was Lady Gaga there?
I think she was down in Brazil for her 2 million person concert. Did you
she didn't make it back.
Yeah, remember the bomb threat? There was a bomb threat in Brazil. This was 2 days ago, but I believe she's still down in South America, if memory serves.
Got it.
But she's the one who I don't know if it was at the Met Gala, but it was maybe at one of the MTV Music Awards but she wore a dress made out of meat.
Yeah.
Does that ring a bell?
Kind of. I mean, many things. I remember she was like an alien once, and she was hatching out of an egg once. I was looking forward to that.
So there is your wrap up of some of the highlights of the blue carpet at the Met Gala. We got a lot to get to coming up here on Chicago Now, including kind of a heartbreaker in the Bucktown neighborhood. A beloved restaurant is going to be closing its doors after about 5 decades. One less pizza place on the northwest side. Stay with us. We will be right back after this.
it is 10:12. Welcome back to Chicago Now, where Anthony and I get to just hang out with you and chat a little bit about what's going on in Chicago. And now we're going to be talking about what's opening and what's closing with restaurants in Chicago's corner. So what's going on, Ponce?
Okay, so Bucktown folks, Wicker Park folks, you are about to lose a beloved local neighborhood pizza establishment. My Pie in Bucktown just announced on Instagram that after 54 years in operation, they are going to be closing their doors. Can we get a look at the Instagram post? I just
you know
pulled
what
it up.
Looks like. This
there
is what the
it
building
is
looks
here.
like. Yeah.
Let me kind of sum up what they wrote. After more than 5 decades of making our signature pizzas, the time has come to say goodbye. With heavy hearts, we announced that My Pie Pizza will be closing at the end of June. And they had a location on Sheridan Road that first opened back in 1971. I remember going to that one with my mom as a young person.
Yeah.
I did not actually know that they had relocated to Bucktown, but I remember my mom. So I don't have a vivid recollection of the pie itself.
Okay.
But they have 25 locations across 9 states, and it's a family recipe.
Did they say why? Why are we doing this?
They just said thank you. You know what? Maybe they're aging out. You know, it's one of those things.
Yeah, the family doesn't
because they didn't say it was
continue.
like, you know, a budget cut thing. They did so well over
Right.
the years. You know, they said we've been honored to be part of your celebrations, your cravings, your late nights, and your family dinners.
That's sweet.
So there's going to be a lot of broken hearts
folks.
there. Richard Aronson and the My Pie family signed off with love and deep gratitude to everyone.
Deep gratitude for all that deep dish that they were serving up.
Indeed.
Okay, so our next headline about restaurants is Lazy Dog Restaurant is opening in 2026. So we're closing one, we're opening another. This one's in Algonquin. So we've got a video of some of the food that they offer at Lazy Dog. It's the 6th one in the Chicago area, and one just opened in Buffalo Grove in March. Obviously, they're doing really well if they're opening another one in Algonquin. So let's see some of that food at Lazy Dog. Have you ever been to a Lazy Dog?
No, I haven't.
Bacon?
Doesn't that look good?
Just a bag of bacon.
Like a bacon wrap? Yeah. And that looks like a loaded sweet potato maybe on top of some other mashed potatoes.
Some Brussels sprouts, perhaps.
Okay.
Lazy Dog Restaurant. I wonder, wait, is this place?
You know, I get really excited about the local kind of mini chains.
Yeah.
Because you know that they are doing something right when they are expanding, and you get them in that sweet spot before they become like a national phenomenon, like Lou Malnati's and Portillo's are in the process of becoming. Look at the desserts, my gosh.
There's one in Northbrook, Naperville, Buffalo Grove, Vernon Hills, and Oak Brook.
Okay, so Algonquin's going to be added to the list. That's out west, not far from Barrington and West Dundee. All right, put it on the list, everybody.
Lazy
Dog Restaurant.
I love the name. It sounds so sweet. I'm pulling up their website too. It's very cute. It looks like they've got drinks there too.
You, correct me if I'm wrong, Caitlin. Huh? You're more of a beer person than a cocktail person?
I do love a beer, yes. Beer and wine, yeah. The cocktails, I don't know, you know.
You don't gravitate toward the cocktails.
Breweries are just so much fun.
They are.
Do you like beer? You're a beer guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or a wine guy.
Beer and, you know, cocktails as well. So we have another opening to tell you about. Machine Cocktail Bar.
Yep.
Machine Cocktail Bar. This is opening up in the near north neighborhood. Look at these.
Is this the shrimp cocktail? Cocktail?
Is there one called a shrimp cocktail?
What is this? Eggs? This is fancy.
I don't know if I could do a...
This is beyond. This is perfume flavor.
Egg yolks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a second.
Okay.
Hold on, I gotta pull this.
Are these real?
I don't. Okay, wait. What is this? Okay,
Shrimp
Machine Cocktail Bar. Is it made from a machine? Is that the whole shtick? Machine Cocktail Bar. Machine.
I
Cocktail
don't think
Bar.
I've ever seen cocktails that look quite like this. Look at those 3 egg yolks on the stick. How did they even?
Google reviews doesn't have a single review just yet, but they've got a website. If you go to it, it does have the picture of the perfume bottle. There it is. It's really a cocktail. But
May 13th, so a week from today.
It looks fancy and almost vampire-ish on their website. It's like black and red and there's a butterfly. It looks fancy to me. Let's pull up their Instagram and see what's going on here.
Shrimp cocktail.
Oh, they've got
cocktail.
25,000 followers on Instagram.
Okay.
So people know this place.
So maybe it's the first iteration, the first Chicago iteration.
It says same soul, new form, and then it has a butterfly.
Okay.
So these are innovative craft cocktails. So this is probably one of those places that you go to take your Instagram photos, and the influencers are going to go look at all the fancy beverages. You could just see from their website. I mean, if I got a cocktail in a bottle that looked that pretty, I would want to take a picture with it.
I want to know the price point on this. Okay, so anyway, that is opening on May 13th. I'm thinking
in River
that
North.
I'm thinking that we have to do a Good Day Chicago segment where
That'd
they
be
bring
so
in
fun.
they bring in the whole table.
Maybe they'll teach us how to make these.
All right, Caitlin, 10:18, and we want to get to a couple of things that are trending on the Chicago subreddit this morning. And the first thing that getting a little bit of buzz, and Block Club Chicago covered this. There is a back and forth going on between two small businesses in the Wrigleyville neighborhood, and it has to do with a hat that just says Chicago on it.
All right.
You can see the headline there, Wrigleyville Hat
it.
Wars. Boutique owner accuses sports shop of selling knockoffs of signature caps. So there you go, right there. That is the owner of Alice and Wonder. That's the boutique, and she evidently designed those Chicago hats that you see right there with the colored visor and kind of the off-white, and the font is unique. It's a raised kind of fur. I think she calls them like the fur hat or something like that.
What?
It's not fur. What is it called? It's a raised
fabric.
Yeah, it's a raised fabric, absolutely. And so what happens is, you've seen Sports World right across the street from Wrigley Field, and so what she noticed was not only was Sports World selling the exact same hat, but she claims
they bought them from her and are reselling them.
Exactly, and not only that, but that they are actually using some of her actual marketing images to market their products. So we had a reporter on from Block Club Chicago who first brought this story to the masses. If we can play a quick clip of her interview.
So we have a long-time sports apparel shop and a local boutique owner who says the sports shop is selling a dupe of her signature hat. She took it to TikTok because she had seen these dupes popping up in street vendors and fests, and she said it was the last straw when she saw the store promoting the hats using her photos as well. So she took that to TikTok and just said, this is a dupe and you're selling the dupe of my signature hat.
So she, oh no. Oh no. So what's going to happen?
Okay, so here's the deal. Obviously, at least two sides to every story. The owner of the sports retail shop basically said, I bought these hats from any other, just like I do from a vendor, just like every other item of clothing in my store. I have no idea why I'm being targeted right now. This is the first I'm hearing of it. So to me, this is a thing where whoever's selling and reselling the Alice in Wonder hats needs to get on the same page as the owner. Okay.
I just feel like the using of her
he felt
photos,
blindsided by it.
That's crossing the line. I mean, that's obvious.
It really is. It really is. I want to hear more from the sports shop owner, because it really sounded, based on Block Club Chicago's reporting, that he was just blindsided by this. He had no idea he was doing anything wrong, because maybe the salespeople say, here's your product and here are your marketing images. You know what I mean?
So it wasn't him that did it. It was his employees, maybe.
Or his vendor, perhaps. Or the vendor saying, again,
I
this is the package. I bought these in bulk, and here are the marketing
images. Where are
images.
the receipts?
So,
because you would think she'd be able to track it down too, to prove like he bought these hats from me, and now is he marking up the price?
Yeah. You hate to see this between small business owners too, because it's not a David Goliath thing; it's a David thing.
What? But I didn't know about those hats until this story came up. So maybe now
they're good looking hats.
Everyone's going to go out and buy these great looking hats.
Good looking hats.
These caps that say Chicago.
Caitlin, this next thing that is popping on Reddit, as well.
Is about severe weather.
Yes, indeed.
So in Chicago, spring, of course, we think about storms. So April, May, and June are the months that have the most tornadoes in Chicago. So what is this Reddit thread that we're talking about?
Okay. It caught my eye as I was scouring this morning for things that were trending.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool vantage point of something that all of us Chicagoans often hear, but we never see.
Let's take a peek.
Check it out.
They deleted the video.
Oh, they
deleted
deleted the
it.
video,
Okay.
the original post. So here's
There's a
the
tornado siren, eh?
It's a tornado siren, and do you know how many there are throughout Chicago and how widely they're spaced? Because I know there's one at like right by Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
It looks like a honeycomb.
You know, I don't know how many exactly. We could probably do a quick little Google search, but they probably were doing the test once a month. The siren's going off. And here's a reminder to you, which, by the way, do you remember last summer in July, the day that we had the record-breaking number of tornadoes in Chicagoland?
I do. That was
I
wild.
jotted down the numbers so that I didn't get it wrong. So we had 32 tornadoes in Chicagoland in that one single day. This was July 15th. And I remember it, too. I was on maternity leave, just posting like crazy on Instagram, trying to keep up with these tornado warnings that were just popping across Chicago. It was such a busy summer with severe weather. So this is a good time to remind you, not that we are doing, the formal news, but just so you know at home, if you especially have weather anxiety, because I know many of you do. I've got lots of friends, neighbors, family who do. On our Fox 32 weather app, you can pull it up. And I actually have a video of it on my Instagram on how to do it. But basically on the settings, you can put, if you want the app to track where you're located so it can follow you, and then you put in which warnings you want to be notified of, whether it's just the tornado warnings, the severe thunderstorm warnings, wind, all of the flooding advisories. You can get notified of all of those different things on our weather app. And especially when we have storms at night, I know it's hard to shut your brain off, but if you have multiple ways to receive warnings, that should keep your mind at ease. And also, I try to tell people this too, including my own neighbors. If there's a chance for severe weather, us meteorologists know about it days in advance, and we are keeping the closest eye on the radar. So if you
guys do a great job with that.
Yeah, if you get nervous and we say we could have severe weather in 3 days from now, just make sure that you're up to date with the social media. I mean, that's something else that we use social media for. We'll keep you posted with the forecast. And then, of course, you can just turn us on TV. If we do have a tornado warning, we walk you through it. We'll take you down to the ground level. We'll show you the neighborhoods that could perhaps have that damaging weather. And we just walk you through it. So you really don't have to be scared, because we'll keep you posted. And of course, you gotta prep. So know what you're gonna do, have a plan, and then you just do it.
I heard a really great metaphor in one of our editorial meetings recently about the difference between watches and tornado watch and tornado warning. And they described it as the difference between the taco itself is one of them, and the ingredients for the taco is the other one. So will you break that down? Like, one of them means, okay, all the ingredients are in play that could cause a tornado, and the other is, hey, there's a tornado on the ground.
Yeah, exactly right. So a watch is when we have all of the different things, as you were saying.
The ingredients.
So we have in the environment, we are able to have severe weather. So we have all of these things that could happen. If they come together in the perfect way, then we could have severe weather. So the warning means it's happening. Watch means be ready. So watch is before warning. Warning means you got to take action. So watch
Get in that basement.
Exactly. So the warning, especially with tornadoes, so tornado watches can be expanded for hours. The warning is going to be imminent. Warning, warning, warning. That means you got to go. And also we give you a heads up. So if the storms are headed your way, you've got time to get to your safe space. And I think it's fun too. At night, it's kind of harder, but if you have little kids, maybe have some games ready to go. Yeah. Something your
we have all our toys down in our basement anyway, so
and just have a little party.
I think we went down there 2 times last season, Caitlin.
Yeah.
And I assume it's kind of. I was watching my boys during the whole thing, and I could tell there was just a little bit of like anxiety there,
kids.
and I was like, is this a long-term memory that is going to be etched into their brain? That first time we had to rush down to the basement. Now you said, refresh our memory, so you said April, May, and June?
Right.
Okay.
Now, of course, we could have severe storms past that.
Yeah, absolutely. That outbreak was in July of last year.
Right.
But these tests, the reason why the drone video did hit Reddit for a short time earlier was because these tests, we're going to start hearing them on Tuesday mornings at 11 o'clock, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe that's the time.
112 sirens located across the
Ah, we have an answer.
In the city, 112.
112.
Yeah.
33
Every
minutes from now, we got to
mile.
see if they ring out. They ring out. All right, we are going to switch from weather to sports coming up. The Blackhawks now know which pick they have for the next draft.
Woo-hoo.
So we're going to be speaking to an
expert.
expert right after this. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Chicago Now. We're talking about sports and the NHL. So, turning to sports, the Chicago Blackhawks won the number 3 pick in the draft during the NHL Draft Lottery Monday night. So, our very own, we're joined by an expert, Chris Kwasinski. He's joining us to talk about it. So, first question, what kind of player are the Blackhawks likely to target with their number 3 pick, Chris?
Well, it's really interesting when you bring it up, because yesterday when we got to talk to GM Kyle Davidson, he said best player available. And we've heard that a lot. We've heard that a lot with the Bears. We've heard that a lot with a lot of other people. But in this specific instance, he's basically saying, whoever we think is the best player there, we're just going to take them. And I think with this Blackhawks team this last year, they finished with the second to worst record in the league for the second straight year. So they just kind of need to take young, really good players. I think it's a good strategy. It just depends on how they kind of rank out players and kind of compare guys in the end.
Okay, Chris, put in perspective, did we get lucky or not with the 3rd pick? Because I understand our odds, the Hawks' odds of getting the number 1 pick were pretty good. Do the math for us. Is this good or bad that we got the 3 pick?
I don't know if I'm going to do math. That's not my forte. If that was going to happen, I'd probably short circuit on air. We do not want it right now. But if you watched the lottery last night, it was, in my opinion, it was kind of archaic. They were showing like all these lottery balls. They're picking ping pong balls, and the Hawks their odds changed from like 13.5% to like 36% of getting the number 1 pick, and then back down to 9%.
Oh, no.
So close.
I know. I was like, sure. And we watched the New York Islanders had a 3% chance to win the first pick before the lottery even started. And here they are with the top pick. And I'm like, okay, well, whoever their president is, I'm calling them for the lottery numbers next time. Because,
Right.
Emotional roller coaster.
All right,
No
how does the class itself compare to last year's? The
It's
overall
interesting
class.
because Yeah, it's really interesting because the last couple years have been really similar classes where there's one guy at the top of the class. In 2023, you mentioned the Hawks getting lucky. They did when they got Connor Bedard. They
Right.
got the kid, the prodigy that everybody really wanted. And it was him and then everybody else. Last year, it was the same with Macklin Celebrini. It was up here, and then there was everybody else after him, too. And the Blackhawks took Artem Leshinov out of Michigan State. But this year, it, the difference is kind of close. It's going to be super interesting to figure out how the Blackhawks kind of tier out and rank their board, especially in terms of draft picks and all that. Because there's one guy that's considered the best guy. His name is Matthew Schaefer. He's a defenseman uh, who could be the number one overall pick. We assume he's going to be the number one overall pick with the Islanders because uh, they're not the worst team in the league. Obviously, if they had 3% chance, they weren't expected to get the number one pick, but here they are. So they're probably going to take the best guy in the draft, which is Matthew Schaefer in this instance. But
Matthew
now
Schaefer.
between Schaefer and everybody else,
Can we
pretty
get a
close.
couple more names out there? What do you think? I know you said it's kind of him and then everybody else, but have there been any other names floated around?
Yes, right now there is Michael Misa, who is a center out of the OHL, which is the Ontario Hockey League. He's one of the best prep leagues and I guess the amateur leagues in the world. And then there's Porter Martone, who is a very good offensive player. He doesn't skate as well as you'd expect some other offensive players to do, but he's electric with the puck. He knows how to create offense, and that's kind of what the Blackhawks need at this moment. They need a lot of excitement and need a little bit of that, not hope, but a little that guy that's going to come up in the pipeline where you can say, this is going to be the guy that's going to make fireworks. This is the guy we're excited to play with Connor Bedard, and kind of gets fans not excited for the future, but kind of saying, okay, well, maybe in the couple years or maybe at the back end of this year, because the last couple years we've seen the Blackhawks bring their young guys in and have a lot of success. Maybe this could be that thing where it's like, well, he's waiting in the pipeline to come up and be that guy where we can say, hey, what does this kid got?
That'd be great. Now, Chris, can you give us an idea? We've picked third in the past, right? How's our track record historically with the number 3 pick?
You know, it's actually pretty solid. All things considered, it's pretty solid because back in the day, I believe it was 84, where they picked Dennis Savard, who is a very good player. Also a future head coach of the Blackhawks. He coached them 2000 decade towards the back end of that era. But there's also this guy named Jonathan Taves. Now, if you remember him, he was arguably the best player in the world in like 2013. That stretch, especially when they were winning the cup, like
Right.
it was solid, pretty solid. But the last time they picked number 3 was in 2019 when they selected Kirby Dach. And they have his brother Colton Dach on the team now, but they traded Kirby when they were kind of rebuilding, kind of restructuring everything there too. But it's been pretty solid because there's also a guy that you may know named Eddie Olczyk, who's a broadcaster extraordinaire for NBC, a former Blackhawk who got to be very familiar with the Blackhawks when he was calling all the Blackhawks games during the Stanley Cup run. And Edzo is obviously a fan favorite here in Chicago, but if you kind of look back at the history, it's pretty solid. And
Number
I think
3,
this year
it doesn't
there's
have to be a
chance-
bad one, right?
Right,
I
there's a
pointed
good
this,
chance
Chris,
of
I
getting
pointed
the-
this out on the air today too. Michael Jordan was also chosen
Hey.
3rd in the NBA draft.
Means
So,
nothing.
hey,
Yeah.
we could strike it rich. Hey, before we let you go, Chris, can you give us kind of an maybe more of a high level outlook for the season? I know they finished 8th in their conference this past year. It was win loss wise, it was not a successful year. But we've got these young stars. We got Connor Bedard on board. Is there an overall reason for optimism going into the 2025-2026 season?
There really is. And the biggest reason is because there's so much that needs to be figured out. There's so much that needs to be laid forward in terms of just the future of the franchise. Like you mentioned, there's so many young players that they could have come up in the pipeline. Guys like Bedard is already there. We've already seen him, but also guys like Frank Nazar, who at the back end of the season showed what he was capable of, scoring a lot of goals, playing really well next to Connor Bedard. We're looking for that guy that's going to not play next to Connor Bedard on the top line, but that could anchor the back line right after Connor Bedard, kind of that offensive option too. But with this number 3 overall pick, you're going to get another guy that fits into that future too. But also, they don't have a head coach yet. That's next
Right.
on their list of things to do in terms of getting their draft board
let
ready
go
to
mid-season, right? Luke Donaldson.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we were talking to Kyle Davidson yesterday. And he mentioned, everyone's still in the mix. His phone's buzzing, so there's a lot of interest in the job. But it would depend. It obviously remains to be seen who it could be. And whoever they have as head coach could influence who they draft. We don't know that, but I think right now there's so much optimism when it comes to the young players they have, and they're really preaching that patience. And they went out and got a lot of guys in free agency last year, but I think now you can look at it and say, hey, well, the young guys are going to start playing with the veterans, and you never know what it's going to be. The young pipeline could be something that Hawks fans could really endear themselves to in the near future.
Okay, we will have to trust the process here. All right, Chris Kwachinski, thank you for the time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll be right back with more Chicago Now after this.
And we're back. So rumor has it, you guys like it when we kind of go off the rails and just talk. And every day I've got a story. I mean, I've got a lot going on, right?
Caitlin, Cody, you do have stories.
So here we go. Buckle up. First of all, can I just point out something? I've got this bruise on my arm right here. That's from my baby biting me.
Oh, no.
If anybody sees like this dark spot, literally he bit me. He's teething, bit me, and I was like, that's gonna bruise. That's gonna bruise. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to point it out.
Hazard of the job.
You know? Goodness gracious, these babies are strong. They're gripped too.
So you came in studio today with oh my gosh, listen to what happened to me. What is going on, Cody?
I have anxiety left over from yesterday. So picture this. We have two daughters who are both in softball and t-ball. Yesterday was our first game for our oldest daughter for softball. So we go to these softball fields, which there were 8 fields. This place is huge. It's all outside, crawling with people. Like, where's Waldo kind of? It's everywhere, surrounded by people. Okay, so we're up in the stands. I've got the baby in the little carrier, and we're just sitting there watching the game, having a good time. Grady, my husband, is there too, and he decided to go walk down to the dugout to where my oldest daughter was playing and just to talk with the coach, yada, yada. So my younger daughter, who is 3, she's yay big. Her name's Darcy. You've probably seen videos and pictures of her. She said, I want to go give this to Dad because she was having a rough day. So Grady took her to the concessions and got her some like Sweet and Sour Patch Kids. So she was like, this one's blue. This is Dad's favorite color. I'm going to go give it to him. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. So I was like, okay, go down these stairs. And then Dad's right there by the garbage can, like between here and you can't see off screen. Not maybe 15 feet away from me. So she goes down the stairs, walks over to where the trash can is, where I knew Grady was standing, and then I thought, she's good, she's with Grady. So then I turned my attention back to Birdie, who was playing in the field for her softball game. So then about, I would say 10 minutes goes by, and I get this feeling like I should probably see where Darcy. Yeah. So I stood up, I walked down the stands, and I looked over, and Grady and I caught eyes, and I was like, looking, you got Darcy, right? And he was like, no, I left Darcy with you. And I was like, no, she walked down to go to you.
Give you your blue Sour Patch.
So then, you know, that sinking feeling.
Oh, yes, I've been there.
So there was a little girl that she was kind of playing with. I thought she was there playing with this kid. I walk over to Grady. She's not there. So I just kept walking, like, far, you guys, far, to like the very other end of this huge complex that's outside, just looking for Darcy. And I told him she might have to go to the bathroom, like maybe go look in the bathrooms. Like he was circling the bathrooms. Finally, I got to like the end of this huge sidewalk, and there was 2 guys standing there, and I was like, have you seen a little girl about this big in a green hoodie? And they were like, yeah, she went that way. So she went around the corner, and then I followed where they pointed, talked to another person, have you seen a little girl? And they're like, yeah, she's up there with these coaches. I had to go upstairs onto this platform, and then finally found Darcy, you guys. And at first, she was like, she didn't really react to me, so I thought these people are gonna think that I'm not actually her mom. They're like, is this your kid? And then another woman was like, I'm just glad she's safe. So then I took Darcy down the stairs, and then Darcy started crying. So I think she was kind of like penting the emotion.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know where mom and dad are. But like, it's just a reminder to you at home how fast these kids can slip away from our sight. Like I thought, and especially this is the reminder really, if it's you and your significant other and you think the other person is watching your kid, double check, because you know when you're by yourself, you got it. Give me that, you know, you see the kids, you keep track of them, but like when you're leaning on someone else, whether that be a significant other, a friend, a neighbor, a parent, make sure that you actually know where these kids are.
Exactly.
This is not the first instance that this has happened to me.
And you are not. If it's any comfort, that has happened multiple times with Maggie and me.
Has it?
Where we both thought that the other one had track of the child, and your mind goes into the worst place, right? How many minutes elapsed between the moment you realized with Grady, hey, Darcy's gone to the reunion? It was
quick, 5 minutes, because
But it probably seemed like 5 hours, right? Yeah.
I kept looking back because I could see Grady was like walking around, and I kept looking back to see like if he had found her. I just thank God that those guys had seen her walking. Because when I tell you, like I said, where's Waldo? I mean.
Oh no, I've been to those sports complexes where there's hundreds of kids. They all look identical because they're all in uniform. Been there, Caitlin. Been there.
Yes.
You know, I'm only half kidding when I say, you know, this like extra skin we have behind our elbow.
Yes.
Just put a microchip under there. Could we do that?
Can we please?
Just microchip our kids.
Literally. Okay, wait, no, I'm not even. I talked to
There
Emily.
goes your autonomy. I want to keep track of you.
Right. I was talking to Emily Walls on the phone yesterday. I was chatting with her afterwards just to tell her what happened. And I was like, I know it's frowned upon, but if I could put a bracelet or something on my kids so that you could.
Listen,
I mean, I guess the Apple AirTags.
We did. I have AirTags on my kids' bikes.
Okay.
Theo was starting to want to ride around the neighborhood with his kids, and so we did a watch with a location tracker.
Literally purchasing
so
that
I
today.
can
see where they're at. Yes.
If they're on their bike and they're not, you know, he's still 9, so he hasn't figured out those little workarounds where, hey, everyone, let's leave our watch. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want to.
Taking it off yet.
Yeah. So there are technology options to be taken advantage of. But yeah, the AirTag or the Apple Watch, you can track their location and everything, but it can be very scary. I'm so sorry you went through that, and I'm glad that you guys found her.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Right?
Okay.
If it happened to you at home, again, Anthony said, it happens sometimes. We're all just human.
Okay. Well, there was your permission to rant.
Woo!
Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you.
The other thing people are kind of ranting about these days is the fact that the real ID deadline, it is tomorrow. We are on the eve of the big deadline. So this morning, we had none other than Illinois' Secretary of State in studio to give us an update. Take a listen.
What goes through your mind when you see that line?
That most people do not have to be in that line.
May 7th is not a deadline. We will still continue to issue real IDs next week, for the foreseeable future, probably forever. So you do not have to wait in line. We have been screaming from the rooftops for folks to make sure they have the information they need. We introduced an interactive website, as you can tell, the first Real ID Supercenter in America. We opened up Saturday hours, we opened up 2,500 appointments, and we still can't handle this unprecedented demand, which is last minute. And the problem is, the biggest misnomer out there is that folks think that if they don't get it by tomorrow, they will not get one.
It's stopping.
That is not the case. So we're screaming from the rooftops, don't worry, you can get one next week, you can get one the week after, and if you have a passport or global entry, you will be just fine.
Yes.
So there's the key. Everyone heard May 7th and thought, hey, if I don't have one, I won't be able to get one. So he's kind of doing a talking tour, Alexi Janulius, to clear this up. I can see where people got confused here.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you
Deadline.
need to get one by today. It just means this is when the enforcement starts.
At the airports.
At the airports. But once again, if you have a passport, you are okay. So I don't know if I said this yesterday here on Chicago Now, but I've got my passport. That's just going to be my go-to if I have any upcoming domestic trips. And then on my own time, when the frenzy dies down, I'll go in with this time the correct paperwork, Alexi.
Yeah.
It was operator error last time that I didn't get mine. 'Cause
Everybody
I went
has
with
operator
the
error
wrong,
with that.
With the wrong sheet.
I know.
And so wait till the frenzy dies down, get it on your own time, and that way you don't have to double up and take your passport and your driver's license.
So
and your
no
real ID.
stress. You've got time.
No stress.
And it's government buildings too, right? So
Government
flying in
buildings and
government-
military facilities.
Got it.
Also, Anita asked him today, what's our compliance? You know what I mean? We're ahead of other states, but Alexi Janulius said that of the people that are eligible for the Real ID, fewer than 50%. They don't have an exact number. They don't have an exact number, but fewer than 50% of the eligible people. So we're in the 40%. Like if you don't have one, you are not alone.
Right.
I don't have one.
Yeah.
You got your passport. You're in good shape. But if you don't have a passport and you do have an upcoming trip to Florida or something, you do need to get on it. You do need to get on
a
it.
dentist appointment and you have to take a Tuesday off of work.
Oh, yeah.
Do it that day.
That's
you
a
know,
good call.
Mark it on your calendar.
Middle of the day.
Just, put it down and you'll get it done. We'll all
Okay.
get it done. It'll be okay.
All right. We are going to take a quick break, but when we come back, there is a crazy group, I'm
Hot
told
girl
they are
walks.
women,
Hot girl walks.
that are taking it upon themselves to walk the longest street in Chicago. It's a 10-mile street. We will tell you when, we will tell you where when we come back.
Welcome back. 10:52. We have a few more minutes to chat at ya with Chicago Now. Anthony and I are now talking about something that we were just enlightened about. Our hip producer told us what Hot Girl Walks is. So here in Chicago, we have a 10-hour-long walk along Western Avenue that's popular on Reddit of the Hot Girl Walk. So these girls are walking for 10
Apparently
hours
this
straight
became a thing during the pandemic where, I don't know if it was
to try to get out and show your
and feel
cute outfit.
human again. I don't know if you remember during the pandemic when you'd be in your PJs for too long on it, and you wanted to get dressed up or at least put together so that you felt like a human being again. So now this is taken on kind of a life of its own.
This hasn't
May
happened
10th,
yet. Oh boy.
There is a group that is doing can you believe this? Okay.
No, nope. Where's
They're
some good
walking
socks?
all of Western Avenue. It starts at 9:15. This is Chicago's longest street. You can actually see it when you come in and out of O'Hare if you know where to look.
Yeah.
It runs north-south, basically the length in the entire city from basically the Evanston border all the way down to the south suburbs. 24.8 miles over the course of 10 hours. And look at this.
Yeah, so they break it down for different spots to stop. I'm assuming to go to the bathroom, maybe get a snack. So it looks like they have like a 6.2 mile stretch, a 5.2 is two of the longest. And then there's some 3 miles, 4.8 miles. I would like to do this with maybe some rollerblades.
Some rollerblades?
Yeah.
I would imagine if it was a beer crawl or a bar crawl.
You wouldn't make it.
Would you make it to the corner of Western and Howard after that? There better be a round of beers at the end of this. At the end of this, yeah.
Power bars.
Yes, there's
also.
also.
Are we wearing hot girl clothes?
Well,
is that part of the process?
You would think that walking shoes would be a must for that. Because hot girl clothes, I'm thinking heels.
I had Converse on. This is another parenting fail over the weekend. Speaking of comfortable shoes, for my kids' parade. Anthony, we didn't make it more than like 2 feet. No, that's an exaggeration. 15 feet, and I was like, I gotta stop walking because it was rubbing the back of my ankles. You guys, wear shoes that are broken in, like good quality athletic wear.
I've been there.
Because you don't want to rub, because then you'll be out. First Home Depot stop, you're gonna be like, I need to take a load off.
Here is another thing happening on May 10th. Look at this.
This is gonna compete,
This is the hot dog walk. I like these. Okay. I like these because you think you hear about a bar crawl, but these are really, really unique.
This says hot girls eat hot dogs too.
I'm sorry?
So maybe they're connected. It says hot girls eat hot dogs.
Hey,
hot girl walk, hot dog.
There's a lot of people going to be burning a lot of calories and then taking in a lot of calories. The hot dog walk, it starts on the 606. That's awesome. They're meeting at 1. And this is a 1.25 mile walk. And some Chicago dogs will be consumed.
And the destination is Choppers.
That's great.
Okay.
I don't think I've eaten a dog from Choppers, but have you walked the 606 yet, Caitlin?
No.
It is so cool.
Is it?
I don't know if you remember the story here. This was an abandoned railroad track up until a few years ago, privately funded.
Yeah.
They totally remade this thing. It went from old tracks to a stunningly landscaped above the city greenway. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen video from it, but they did just such a great job. There's mile markers, the landscaping's amazing, there are parks and on and off ramps.
Wow.
It's really, really spectacular.
And a mile and a quarter, I feel like that's the sweet spot if you did want to bring, older members of your family or your kids.
Little roadie.
Anthony needs a beer. It's Tuesday. I think Anthony needs a lunchtime beer.
Yesterday, I didn't even have a margarita on Cinco de Mayo, so I'm overdue. It was a Monday.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, speaking of booze, and this could lead to gossiping. That's going to be our next topic.
Sometimes booze does lead to gossiping. So there is a new study.
Okay.
Gossiping gets a bad rap. They don't talk about other people. However, some psychologists are now saying that it can actually benefit our mental health.
Okay.
Here's why, Caitlin. It can help, quote, make meaning of our world and make meaning of our situations. And it can expose certain behaviors of others so people can protect themselves. Your thoughts?
I think the person who wrote this likes to gossip. It's fun, okay? Let's just admit it. It's fun. We all like to gossip. Is it a good thing? Probably not, right? Unless it's good gossip. Unless it's good gossip or it's about yourself. Like I unloaded on you guys. I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, actually, you are our Chicago Now family.
Yeah.
Right now. You are hearing Caitlin's permission to rant. Here's what I'll say about gossiping. My wife and I gossip among each other from time to time.
Of course you do.
We are confidants, though. And
Yes.
sometimes Maggie's so sweet that sometimes she feels bad even telling me something. But I feel like there is a therapeutic value as long as it's just to me. We're in the vault. We say, okay, this is in the vault. If we're going to talk about someone else in a negative way, it's just like we band together. Sometimes
well, when you're married,
it's
you're the
venting.
same person. It doesn't matter.
Right.
If you share something with someone who's married, guarantee that it's going straight to that other person. But also, they give you some perspective, right?
Oh, you mean the other person's spouse? Okay, but what if
yes.
what if it's you and Grady though? You can be in the vault together.
Well,
with
that's what
just
I mean.
you. Yeah, okay.
We tell each other everything. So, like, if you told me a secret and you were like, "Don't tell anybody,"
Grady will know.
100%.
I always assume that too.
Yeah,
the spouse.
you have to.
But I'm talking about for Maggie and me. If she has something to vent about a situation in her life or one of her friends, she knows that she can tell me, and I will not share.
Of course not.
Right.
Mine is always, Grady, I think they're mad at me, or I don't think they like me, and he's like, What are you talking about? Like, that's the bigger thing that he gives me perspective about. What about Maggie? What does she put you back in line about?
Pretty much everything, and I hope I hope I can do the same for her.
Yes.
So maybe there's a Goldilocks zone here.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who's your audience? Exactly. How long are you going on? Are you getting too gossipy? Are you taking it to a new level?
And I think there's
or are you
different
in that
types,
sweet spot?
Like, work gossip, never a good idea, right? Friend gossip, also not a good idea. Family gossip, sometimes you got to, because you can't change your family, and you gotta, get it out somehow.
Gotta vent somehow.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's why.
A steaming pot.
Yeah.
You're gonna explode.
No shortage of the demand for therapy these days either. So if you can take a little steam out of the teapot or whatever the saying is with your spouse or someone you trust, I say go for it.
Well, this was so much fun, you guys. I know we have like 30 more seconds or so.
Caitlin, I'm going to miss you tomorrow.
I know. I'm going
She's
to a
got
kindergarten
another
visit.
commitment, but you'll be
I'll
back on Thursday.
I'll be back on Thursday.
Okay, but for me and my future, at least Wednesday co-host, I want to say goodbye, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Enjoy the weather, and we will see you right back here tomorrow on Chicago Now. I think we're on.
Are we?
I
Live?
heard the jingle.
Do.
Waiting for confirmation.
Okay.
We are on.
Maybe we could get the cameras turned on too, so we know what we're looking at, you guys. But we are on Chicago Now. Happy Tuesday. What is going on, Anthony? I'm so
Tuesday.
excited for you too.
Caitlin, you served up an amazing Tuesday forecast for us today.
Could it be any better?
It's perfect outside. Sunny downtown here at the corner of Michigan and Lake, and we have more sunshine in our immediate future, don't we?
Through the weekend.
Through the weekend.
Through the weekend, each day, sunny skies. Today we're going to be in the 70s, so I always peek and see what everybody is wearing. T-shirts, pants, maybe a sweater this morning, but this afternoon is going to be downright perfect. We're kind of riding the roller coaster over the next couple of days with the temps. And then this weekend we get the mid-70s with sunshine
That's
for
perfect.
Mother's
So
Day.
during the roller coaster, though, we
Yes.
still have sunshine and
Yes,
clear skies.
each
though.
day. There's no
okay,
chance
so we
for
just
rain.
need to worry about like layering, but no need for the raincoat or the umbrella.
Right. We're
Perfect.
set. We're set.
Okay, we got a number of things to get to over the next hour here on Chicago Now. Good morning, everybody. First of all, we have a new mayor in South Suburban Dalton. And the reason we mention this is because this would mean the end of the Tiffany Henyard era, which has been getting a lot of buzz, not just here in Chicago, but all around the country. Do you know what she's become known as?
What?
America's worst mayor.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is because of all the turmoil
The
that has gone
financial
on.
situation.
Yes, with the city budget, the township budget as well. So the new mayor, his name is Jason House, and I don't think you could have a campaign without saying cleaning house.
Cleaning
That was
house.
his campaign slogan, cleaning house. So he was officially sworn in yesterday. He is promising everything from more transparency to improving morale among city employees, the police department, the fire department down there, and of course, getting a handle on the budget. Because through this, I know that you're in the weather department. We're separated by a wall sometimes, but Caitlin, you've heard about just how much controversy Tiffany Henyard.
Of course.
Okay.
And I feel for the people who live there.
Right.
They can breathe a sigh of relief that they're not in the headlines moving forward, hopefully, anymore, and we can get things back in order. And I love that he said he's going to be more transparent.
Yeah, I think that's probably the place to start there. But you're right. I cannot, with property taxes how they are, I cannot imagine being a taxpayer in that township, in the village of Dalton, just knowing
and not knowing
where your hard-earned dollar is going. So we're
speaking of money.
Speaking of exactly. Now we are also, and we mentioned this yesterday, the Met Gala. Did you see any of the B-roll this morning of the blue carpet?
Yes. Are we talking about the Met? Are we going to the lottery?
We're going to the lottery as well. There was a local winner, and we're also going to be talking a little bit later about the Blackhawks as well.
And by the way,
our draft picks.
Yes, and we're going to pull up, I'm sure, some of the pictures from the dresses and the outfits that were worn yesterday from the gala. But let's talk about the money, because I play the lotto when there's big money to be won. And this person got super lucky with a $2 million win off of a scratch-off in Illinois. So they purchased a $20 ticket at Shorewood gas station during routine coffee stop. Thought maybe I'll get a scratch-off. My husband does this from time to time. And he might win maybe $5, $10 if he's lucky. But this person that won, this is what they're gonna do with the money, and I love this. Using the money to buy land and expand their car collection. Which, buying land, I would so buy land. Can you imagine?
Oh, yeah.
That would be so fun. But the car collection thing, I'm not so into cars, but speaking of cars, can we talk about your car a little bit?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
sure. I'm a proud...
Tell the people. Tell the people.
Oh, man. Putting me on the spot, Caitlin. But it is a 2001 Subaru Impreza that I found for $5,100. This is about 5 years ago, and get this, only had 30,000 miles on it. Almost a 20-year-old car. It was sitting in an old woman's garage, and so that was that's the luckiest I feel like I've been. Yes, it was basically unused.
Whoa.
The only problem with it was it smelled like smoke, and so that was the only downside. So it took a couple months of me like fastidiously trying to clean it out. But yes, 5,100 miles on it. I'm sorry, $5,100 to buy it. So paid cash for it.
And it has
fabric seats. And it only had 30,000 miles on it.
Do you plan on replacing
that was kind of
it?
like me winning the lotto.
What
would you do though if you got $2 million? Would you do the land acquisition and
$2 million? What would I do? I think I would really want to just pad some saving for my kids to go to college. Because what the heck is it going to cost for kids to go to college?
Well, you got 3 kids,
years?
so $2 million might cover it.
One of them.
At the rate things are going, $2 million might cover. But anyway, congratulations and well done.
Pay off my minivan,
maybe. You never know
maybe?
when a routine coffee stop will turn into a $2 million
Your lucky
payoff.
day.
Yes.
So the Met, do we want to pull up some of the pictures of like the top? Oh, here we go. Okay, wait. Did you hear about this?
I did indeed. Run us through who we're looking at right now.
Rihanna's having a baby, number 3. Look at this. Okay, so she says she was excited to not have to suck in anymore, which I get that, mama.
Is that even a thing? You feel like you have to suck in even if you're pregnant?
Well, you can't
you just
really,
lean into
you know?
that? Like, isn't this your one excuse?
Well, yes, but before you reveal.
Okay.
Before, when you're trying to kind of conceal the pregnancy.
See. Before you make the announcement. Okay.
But is she not the most glamorous pregnant woman you've ever seen? I mean, with all three. Fantastic, and I'm so happy for her. I think I heard too that she wants a girl, so we'll see. We'll see what she's going to have.
We have a local connection for another couple that is getting some buzz this morning after their appearance on the blue carpet. Our very own, the Chicago Bears' Jonathan Owens, and his perhaps way more famous bride, and that would be Simone Biles.
Do we have a little video of
I'm not
them?
sure if we have a preview or a post view of that, but they looked absolutely fantastic. There was
They're
another.
in blue. I think she's wearing this bright blue kind of
indeed.
shorter
There's
dress.
Simone
and there's
Biles.
maybe yes, and then he's wearing, I believe it's a white suit with some blue details. Correct me if I'm wrong, but how beautiful is this couple?
Look at those pants.
Look at the pants.
The frayed look.
Yeah. My pants do that, and I don't want them to.
When Mike Kaplan was giving his forecast today, Caitlin, he said, get the bell bottoms out because we're going into the 70s. Those are kind of like bell bottoms.
Bell bottoms are back, you guys.
Hey,
they're
what's
back,
old
baby.
Is new? What's old is new. Do we have a shot of Angel Reese at the Chicago Sky?
She looks great, too.
She looked
very
great.
chic.
I don't know anything about fashion, so I can't, right away
say
tell,
yes or no.
Yes or no, but it was an immediate yes for me.
I mean, she looks like a supermodel.
She really does.
Look at her hair. She's perfect. I
Caitlin,
love this.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but she probably could be a supermodel if she wasn't a great basketball player.
Probably.
Right?
You're probably
She's got the
right.
height.
She might
kind of
be. Maybe she will be.
Those
after
model-like proportions.
Very tall, very pretty.
That's
I guess
elegance
she was
personified right there.
Yes. And then we also had one that Brian pointed out. A gentleman was carrying a piano on his back.
Yes, who was that?
Jenny, do you know who that was? Who carried the piano on his back?
Oh, he was talking about Andre 3000.
Okay.
From Outkast. He was talking about Andre
Okay.
3000 from Outkast. I think this was in, I don't know if it was last night or if it was in a but I did hear Brian mention that.
Wore it as a backpack?
And it was like a legit keyboard, he said. As we take another look at Miley Cyrus.
Okay, girl.
Yeah.
Wow, she looks great too.
Oh, and there we go. That's
Sabrina Carpenter.
I like it. It's a yes from me. And there's
Bathing
Cynthia
suit with the
Erivo.
jacket.
Look at these outfits.
Oh, she's so cute too. See, I don't mind
She
these.
will be coming to Ravinia in August, I believe.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I believe late July or early August, Cynthia Erivo is performing live at Ravinia, and there's Jean-Baptiste playing sax. Okay, he brought the instrument onto the blue carpet there.
So these were all yeses. Do we have a no? Do we
Those
have
were
a
all
lose?
yeses.
Was Lady Gaga there?
I think she was down in Brazil for her 2 million person concert. Did you
Oh, she didn't make it back?
remember the bomb
Okay.
threat? There was a bomb threat in Brazil. This was 2 days ago, but I believe she's still down in South America,
Okay.
if memory serves.
Got it.
But she's the one who I don't know if it was at the Met Gala, but it was maybe at one of the MTV Music Awards but she wore a dress made out of meat.
Yeah.
Does that ring a bell?
Kind of. I mean, many things. I remember she was like an alien once, and she like was hatching out of an egg once. I was looking forward to that.
So there is your wrap up of some of the highlights of the blue carpet at the Met Gala. We got a lot to get to coming up here on Chicago Now, including kind of a heartbreaker in the Bucktown neighborhood. A beloved restaurant is going to be closing its doors after about
pizza
5
place.
decades. One
a
less
pizza
pizza place on the northwest side. Stay with us. We will be right back after this.
It is 10:12. Welcome back to Chicago Now, where Anthony and I get to just hang out with you and chat a little bit about what's going on in Chicago. And now we're going to be talking about what's opening and what's closing with restaurants in Chicago's corner. So what's going on, Ponce?
Okay, so Bucktown folks, Wicker Park folks, you are about to lose a beloved local neighborhood pizza establishment. My Pie in Bucktown just announced on Instagram that after 54 years in operation, they are going to be closing their doors. Can we get a look at the Instagram post? I just
you know
pulled
what it
up.
looks like. This
there
is what the
it is
building
here.
looks like. Yeah.
Let me kind of sum up what they wrote. After more than 5 decades of making our signature pizzas, the time has come to say goodbye. With heavy hearts, we announced that My Pie Pizza will be closing at the end of June. And they had a location on Sheridan Road that first opened back in 1971. I remember going to that one with my mom as a young person.
Yeah.
I did not actually know that they had relocated to Bucktown, but I remember my mom. So I don't have a vivid recollection of the pie itself.
Okay.
But they have 25 locations across 9 states, and it's a family recipe.
Did they say why? Why are we doing this?
They just said thank you. You know what? Maybe they're aging out. You know, it's one of those things.
Yeah, the family doesn't.
Because they didn't say it was
continue.
like, you know, a budget cut thing. They did so well over
Right.
the years. You know, they said we've been honored to be part of your celebrations, your cravings, your late nights, and your family dinners.
That's sweet.
So there's going to be a lot of broken hearts
folks.
there. Richard Aronson and the My Pie family signed off with love and deep gratitude to everyone.
Deep gratitude for all that deep dish that they were serving up.
Indeed.
Okay, so our next headline about restaurants is Lazy Dog Restaurant is opening in 2026. So we're closing one, we're opening another. This one's in Algonquin. So we've got a video of some of the food that they offer at Lazy Dog. It's the 6th one in the Chicago area, and one just opened in Buffalo Grove in March. Obviously, they're doing really well if they're opening another one in Algonquin. So let's see some of that food at Lazy Dog. Have you ever been to a Lazy Dog?
No, I haven't.
Bacon?
Doesn't that look good?
Just a bag
Is
of
that
bacon.
like a bacon wrap? Yeah. And that looks like a
Oh.
loaded sweet
Potato
maybe on top of some
This
other
is gourmet.
mashed potatoes.
Some Brussels sprouts,
Okay,
perhaps.
okay.
Lazy Dog Restaurant. I wonder, wait, is this
These,
place?
you know, I get really excited about the local kind of mini chains.
Yeah.
Because you know that they are doing something right when they are expanding, and you get them in that sweet spot before they become like a national phenomenon.
Okay.
Like